Hi, everybody. Okay, so part two, how do I write my chapter? Second part of this is actually making the outline or making a plan. A few of you have already kind of started with this idea. Again, on July 9th, we're really going to be focusing in on it. So this is just kind of how do I even start with an outline? We've talked about the brainstorming, really gathering a lot of words, and now it's going to start to put those ideas and shapes into something that's really concrete into this chapter. All right? So the structure is really simple. It's basically you have an introduction, then you have the body of what you're going to be writing, and then you have an ending or a conclusion. So sometimes we kind of get overwhelmed by thinking we've got all of these parts and all these different stories, but really we have to have some way to introduce it, the body of what's happening, and then a closure. Now, how you do that part is what makes the chapter amazing, right? If you start off with an introduction of like, once upon a time, or in this chapter you will learn, if you do anything like that, sleeper. So you want to usually drop them right into the story. And through that part of the story, you'll be able to show them the introduction of what it is you're trying to teach. So the introduction should be a hook. Hook. So it can be a quote. It can be dialogue. It could be an amazing headline, something with some background information. And we'll go into the depths of this hook idea in a bit. But it's that concept of how you want to draw someone in. And here's a great hint. Go to your library, find memoirs, find stories that match yours. Even just go to Amazon and open up the little look inside and read what their first sentence is. That's a great way to get a hook. It's not that you copy their sentence, but you get the idea flowing. So please, please, please start listening to audiobooks and reading books to get the idea of how a reader would maybe read your work. All right, introductory paragraph. So how long is a paragraph? It could be anywhere between 5 sentences to 8 sentences, usually. Now, it doesn't have to be measured that strongly, but it usually takes about that many sentences to get your idea and concept and topic about across, and then to the next, right? So this is very structured here. You don't need to follow this exactly, but to give you an idea of what could happen in your chapter, obviously you want to have a topic, right? We know what the overall topic and idea for the book is. So this is going to be more narrowed of the topic to your chapter, okay? And then write down right at the front, the top, who is your audience? Who are your readers? Who's going to be reading this book? And if you say the word everyone, I want you to go back and figure out who your readers are. Because the whole world would love it to be everyone, but the truth is some things match with people and some things just don't. And that's okay. So focus in. Is it going to be women? Is it going to be moms? Is it going to be moms within an age group? Think about that. Who are you talking to? Are there victims of a crime or of abuse? Who is your audience? So let me see if I've got other things going on here. Okay, good. For a moment there, I thought I stopped my recording. So sorry, coming back. All right. The next part of this introduction is like we did with the words, where we're trying to capture things and put things together. You want to have some key ideas that maybe could theme through the chapter. Again, it doesn't have to be this concrete structure, but it helps you as the writer to remember what the reader is going to get out of this. What is going to be the benefit to the reader, okay? Background information is awesome for this. So maybe do a little practice. And I like to do it with fiction books because it's kind of easy or simple. Many of those books have been turned into a movie, so you're probably familiar with many things. So for just example, we're going to go with the Hunger Games, okay? The opening line in that, gets you started quickly into her world of what happened to Panem prior to or all the wars that happened prior to Panem starting to be created and all these kinds of things. The point is a little bit of background information really helps. Now, how you do this is the different part. You can do it in backflash. You can have a narrator's voice talking about it. You can yourself, maybe within, you give some background information that's not up front, but it's more towards the end. So the reader's having this experience, and suddenly through the experience, you throw in this chunk of background, and everything that they read up until that point all of a sudden is like, wow, mind blown. Okay? Again, it's just something interesting to bring together with this. Now, again, it doesn't have to be structured really essay-like, but it's good to have some background in there. And this is just the introductory kind of paragraph. So I was like 1 or 2 sentences. If you want more, obviously go ahead. But you will need to bring in something, because when readers have a reference, then they're like, wow, got it. And it can be really powerful. All right, main points. So we have the introductory paragraphs. We've got some explanation about what's happening through the story. And again, can be done as a story. It doesn't have to be, and then this is going to happen, and then I'm going to tell you this, and then I'm going to tell you. No. In your outline, you can say those things, because that's really for you as the writer to go, oh yeah, I want to give him that part next. How can I do that? Can I do that through this character? Can I do that through this story? The bike story is awesome to put that in, or whatever, right? So you want to do this slice of time in a summary story that helps to stick to your main idea. And you wouldn't have been selected if you didn't already have this kind of process going. So I think you'll be awesome with it. Just remember, the opening story needs to have a powerful hook, and it gives you learns, right? Basically anything you failed with or you've made mistakes with, they become instantly learns, right? They're your wins, because you learn really quickly, I'm not going to do that again. Or when that opportunity comes up, I now know how to do it better. Got the idea? Okay. Keep your focus on the theme, which is I did it my way. I did it my way. And with that, I know some great things, like you guys have been taking the surveys with the endotype, understanding about who you are and how things come forward. So with that in mind, as you start to put these things down in the outline, your focus on the reader to focus on the story is that idea of, what do I want the benefit for my reader to take away from this story? So in my memoir, Pinpoints of Light, Escaping the Abyss of Abuse, what I wanted my readers to first come away with was hope. Second, come away with how to make an exit plan. Third, to know that I could forgive. And fourth was how I started to heal. So these were these concepts that I wanted this to benefit for my reader as I wrote my story, without saying, and now this is how I healed, right? Because you want that to come into the reading of the story. So the main body, the main points of your chapter, you want to have them clearly presented. You can do it in a key statement. You can do it in key dialogue, right, between two people. You can have the strong details, examples, explanations, the story, your unique voice. This is all, remember, just outline bullet points and bringing things together. And again, you don't have to have Roman numeral 1, A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. You don't have to do it quite like that. The idea is just really, how are we going to start the introduction? What do we want as the body, the main story? How do we want to conclude it? Okay? So it's just supports to get you going. Here is a visual for support. Again, Roman numeral 2, the body, the main point, examples and details. This should not be written in a story format. This is outline. This is strictly outline of how to put things down. And usually for myself, when I start putting things down, I have another a column that I start to all of a sudden write stories because my brain's like, oh, I remember this conversation, blah, 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 and it starts. That's how my brain works on it. But again, it brings you that idea to come back. And this is not perfection. Oh boy. This is just ideas to gather down in a more organized way. I hope everyone's good so far. All right. Again, main point 2, main point 3. You may only have 1. It's fine. You may have up to 5, but I wouldn't suggest more than 5 because you only have a chapter. So usually 3 is about good. It depends on your unique story. These things, I just want you to help start with that idea, really forming in your mind to know how the story can really go. The strength of this book is in the connection with your readers. So all of the things that I'm teaching you now really just get your mind focused on words and the benefit for the reader. Good? Okay. The recap, this is really important. And again, these sections will have their own explanation down in depth. But you want to be able to summarize what the chapter's been about without saying, in summary, because again, this is not an academic paper. You want to be able to pull that in for your reader so that they can remember, wow, I really connected with her with that story about the bike or about her canoeing story. That's me. That's totally me. And in the summary, they can remember your name. They can remember different parts about that story. So really good idea to do that. And then the call to action. You might not know what this call to action is yet. You might just put down something kind of like, I'll just put something down so that I know my brain's thinking about a call to action. And as you start writing it, boom, that call to action might happen. Well, now you've got an outline structure that you can plop it in there. So as you're going and going again, you might go, oh no, I forgot it. Go back to your reference page and, well, there it is. That was the call to action. Again, this is just, they're your resources that you are developing. And in a way, that's kind of like putting all of the amazing things that happen in your brain onto paper so that when your brain focuses and tunnels in on doing this particular writing, wait, I forgot something. Go back to this reference that you made. Oh yeah. And then you can put it in. Does that make sense? I hope that makes great sense. All right. So this is getting you all prepared for the big day of July 9th. Please have some things written down as an outline before you come. July 9th is not the day to really start outlining, like if you've never done anything. We're hoping that, this is why I'm giving you this almost 3 weeks beforehand, so you can get these ideas started and down. Now, if you come to July 9th to that writer's workshop and you're like, I need help, we will know best how to help you if you have something there. If you're planning on that day just to start it, it might be a really long and exhausting, maybe frustrating day for you. So let's keep things going in that concept, and hopefully making a plan and starting before we get there will be great. That's everything for today, I believe. So I'm going to stop the share. Make sure I've gone back over here. So far, the hallway and the stairwell is working out good, but maybe I jinxed myself. We'll see. Any other questions, just let me know, and we'll talk soon again.